Day 5 at the World Wushu Championships here in Jakarta, and its final. Today, the action is all going to be from Sanda on the mats. It's going to be the semi-finals from all categories in the morning, and then we'll be dishing out the medals in the afternoon session. The Talu event at the 13th World Wushu Championships is now over, and it was, as expected, spectacular from start to finish, with the team competition taking place yesterday afternoon. Let's have a look back at Day 4. Wherever you are watching in the world, welcome to Finals Day at the 13th World Wushu Championship 2015 here in Jakarta, Indonesia, at the Istora Senayan. We've seen 4 days of incredible action. When I say we, it's myself, gym.Archive, and Tony Sim, Wushu expert, judge, teacher, and friend, I can now call it.
That's right.
Hey Tony, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Jeevan. We're in for an exciting day today again.
Indeed, this is the order of the days. You can see semi-finals all the way, which means it is medals embedded in each of those bouts. We're going through 48, 52, 56, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, and 90 kilograms. That's all the weight categories, because we are down now to the final contenders. That is the name list. We're looking forward to seeing Zhu Jihui in action. There's so many names there. Of course, Yusuf Widianto, we have to make a mention for him. That's our Indonesian representative for this morning session. And if I'm right, there is also another one in there as well, Gunawan. Yes, there you go, Gunawan and Widianto. But looking forward to seeing Jifu Zhu at the bottom. And of course, defending gold medalist Ali Magomedov as well. And this is the 70, 75, 80, 85, 90 category. We saw Hamid Reza Golipur just at the end. Muslim Salikov, of course, in there as expected, but he hasn't had that much to do, really. And also Motaz Abdul Salam in the 90 kilograms. So 20 bouts, as I understand, 22 bouts this morning. And so far, Tony, you've now watched 4 days. You've got, of course, have been right at the center of so many World Wushu Championships over the past years. How's this one shaped up?
As expected, we have some of our countries that really, specifically India, that's had increasingly been here on the world stage, and now we're seeing the results of that. Some of our countries that typically are in our later medal rounds are here as usual. But we've seen this year we've seen some really impressive fights in these heavier weight categories. Very impressive
That's
fights.
right. In fact, if you did catch the action yesterday, and I'm sure you did on World Wushu TV, 8 knockouts on Session 7. This is Session 8 in the morning and Session 9, which will bring the 13th World Wushu Championships to a close. The Taolu events are already over, as you saw just now, and there was spectacular action there with the weapons coming out yesterday. Well, we have already heard that, as we were talking about yesterday with weigh-ins and defaults, there are actually 2 of the bouts you just saw on the screen that have been already won, as Mohsen Mohamed Saifi had to withdraw and Carl Albrechtsen in the 90 kilograms had to withdraw as well, which means that Ali Al-Kaisi is moving through to the final already, and Motaz Abdul Salam has already moved through to his final as well. And all these finals, including the women's finals, will be fought out this afternoon in Session 9, and that will, as I said, bring to a close the 13th World Wushu Championships. And you were just talking to the judges, we might have another cancellation as well, we might have another default.
Fights number 11, 12, and 22.
So 11 as well. Okay,
11 as well.
We'll look out for that. So Ali Al-Kaisi and Ali, and of course the unfortunate withdrawal here is Cao Enrique Pitoli from Brazil in the men's 70 kilograms, because he was putting in a stunning show over the last 3 days, and he ended it with a knockout as well.
Impressive display.
Maybe he overstretched himself a little?
Well, it's not uncommon as we move into the later rounds of the competition that athletes sustain injuries or aggravate injuries that they might have incurred earlier in the competition. And then on your final day, it's really tough. It becomes a dangerous situation.
Well, I think what we've seen for sure, and what you've taught me over the last 3 days, has been, really appreciating what a physical sport Sanda is, and how not only do you have to keep your body in peak condition, your mind has to be in peak condition as well.
Absolutely. We saw some fighters, because of that fatigue in terms of that mental energy that it takes to stay on the lei tai and stay centered on the lei tai, actually lose their round because just of a lapse in concentration for a few seconds.
Well, I can hear how much you've been enjoying it over the last 3 days. Now, this is our first matchup for today, semi-final in the 48 kilograms. Ahmed Nofal from Egypt fighting in the red, and the very impressive Ji Hui Zhu fighting in the black for China. Ji has been in red-hot form. And let's see now, as we get to this, the medals are already being spread out here. Of course, shared medals for the bronze. So the bronze medals have already been awarded, you could say. Well, look at that. Big kick to start off.
Sure, and as we saw the first day of competition, folks are really eager because this is where they fought untrained to be in this last day of competition.
That's right.
Medal contention.
We saw some, well, very disappointing events yesterday. There were a couple of fighters that were really ahead on points and looking like they were going to win it, and then they fell victim to the 2 push-off rule. I think it was
Beautiful
actually, well, look
kick
at that.
there from China. And a resounding thigh kick.
So big points already for China, and nothing yet spied by the judges for Egypt. Well, that should
There's a roundhouse
score.
kick that scored a couple of points with judges that could see it. And a nice left. And
well, he's just unrelenting at the moment, G. He's already 6 points up in one of the judges' eyes. But credit to Ahmad.
Sure. Throwing some punches out there, not as precise as some of the punches that we're getting from Ji. And that's where you see the difference in the point accumulation.
So the points right now, 4-1, well, 6-1, 9-1, 7-3, 7-3, 5-2. And again, we're seeing the steady progression of points from a Chinese fighter. They know what to do when they get into the fighting space. And they're always picking up points, whether they're moving in or moving out.
Sure, Ahmed knows he has to just go for it and put his techniques out there. And that's what we see. He's taking some risks. He's down now, takedowns, a couple of them, where he's lost some points. But to his credit, he's putting techniques out there to try and make something happen. The timing for China is just so impeccable.
It's just impeccable, isn't it?
As soon as he senses that opening, Ji is able to take advantage of it.
And that's what does result if you do have your mind and body in peak physical condition. You can almost see the kicks and punches coming, pick them off, which is exactly what Ji Huizhu has been doing right now. But we have to give hats off to Ahmad Nofal. He is fighting, as you said, a more experienced fighter, and he's still coming in, and he's still looking for points. And he has scored a fair few, but just not enough in terms of frequency.
And he scored those points because he's been willing to put something out there just like that. He threw up a roundhouse kick that actually connected. Ji answered with a takedown. So each of them scored 2 points within that same second. And as you can see,
well, what an opening round. We've been talking about 20 points being the almost championship level that you need, and it's 18-3, 21-3, 25, 18-9, 15-4. So absolutely sparkling opening round from Ji Huizhu, sorry.
Roundhouse kick there from Ahmed. Solid roundhouse kick, but as you can see,
kind of blocked, caught, and then pushed down. And we do get to hear now.
This is a new dimension of our competition where we actually have a camera there in the corner, and you're listening to the coach from China give some urging to Ji.
Well, I might be good with the names, Tony, but you're going to have to help me out with what that was about. But it is good. Talking of new dimensions, just off this fight, well, I said the Taolu competition's over now, so it is all focused on Sanda, and these extra cameras are on board, so great for finals day. And look at that, he gets stuck in immediately for round 2.
So there's a case where we see the difference in the balance. Ji was actually caught, his side kick was caught, but Ahmed wasn't able to capitalize on it and ended up actually losing the point. Ahmed's able to get one of those points back with the takedown, but again, we see Ahmed really trying to go for it.
Well, I think he got the reversal there.
Actually, Red went down.
Went down first?
Red touched first. It's a matter of inches there, but Red touched first. There he's able to...
Great effort, yeah.
You see Ji's corner waving him off, not a big deal. But Ahmed is right in there, giving everything he has. You see sort of the lack of precision in the technique. He puts up his leg for a round, but it's, as you said, a little bit wild. And that's where Ji is able to step in and get the technique. Look at that movement from Ji.
Yeah, he literally twisted his body and made it almost impossible to throw off. He just dug his feet into a flat lei tai. It's a very interesting skill indeed.
This is one of the reasons Ji has been able to take down Ahmed so easily. His grounding is much better than Ahmed. As you can see when you move around, the difference in the two fighters on the lei tai and their sense of balance.
And their footwork,
That's right. Look at the way Ji is able to work the lei tai, and Ahmed's sort of laying into him.
He gets the push off, If you do look at the feet of both the fighters, you'll see this bobbing action from Ji, just moving back and forth and getting into the fight space.
Sure, Ji is on the balls of his feet, and Ahmed not quite there yet, and push off.
And that's the second push off, which means that Ji Huizhu makes it through to the final.
So here was an example we talked about yesterday, fighters needing to mix it up so that they have an opportunity. Ji just conserved a lot of time for himself. There were 54 seconds, almost a full minute left in that round. He just conserved his energy because he has another fight coming up.
That's right. This afternoon, he'll now be in the final. We're going to find out who he's facing as well as the second two semi-finalists in the 48-kilogram class are about to take to the lei tai. And it is Indonesia with their first appearance on finals day. In the semi-final here, Yusuf Nirnub taking on Sargis Sargassian from Armenia. Sargis is going to be fighting in the red and Yusuf in the black.
Just want to give another shout out to Ahmed for really showing us what it means to take a fight to someone who is such a strong competitor.
So Sargassian had a bypass Koki Umera from Japan, who withdrew, and Youssef Nianob in the quarterfinals beat Namirov Sultanbek from Kyrgyzstan.
So there's our first host country fighter
That's
for
right.
this morning. Hoping to have a good showing. And
Sargis with big fists.
Sargis has had that little rest with the bye that helps at some level. They're both here on a big day.
Right now, you just see the difference in pattern of this fight from the one we saw before with G just controlling that ring and moving around and cutting in, and of course that great effort from Ahmad as well. This time, both of these fighters, as you can see 30 seconds into the fight, really struggling to have scoring techniques. There we get Sargis stepping out a little bit and getting some punches in that a couple of judges saw. And actually, Youssef is getting him off the next time. He gets the throw off. So that has put Youssef in the lead. It is, of course, the morning session again.
Sure.
So
there's a contrast in size, both in the 48 kilogram. Sargis, the leaner, longer fighter, and Youssef, more compact. We just saw Sargis try and use those legs, but if Youssef has it his way, he's going to get Sargis back off that platform. Make short, beautiful roundhouse kick coming in to earn him some points.
So just that kick and that takedown beforehand have put him nicely ahead with 55 seconds left in this first round.
This is the day where we will be able to hear all of those solid kicks, because Sanda's taking center stage for the competition today.
We already 30 seconds left. Not the highest scoring, but a good solid performance from Youssef. Enough, I think, for the first round.
Well, that's the important thing here. It's just enough for the first round.
Makes the attack there as well. Moves in.
Sargis hasn't been able to mount. In one judge's eyes, he hasn't scored any points. The other's pretty low. So he's really had struggle.
Wow, that was a huge kick.
Right. We can see that Youssef is really solid, making it difficult. Look at how much it's taking for Sargis to try and get that throw. He's trying.
Well, that massive kick to the face has definitely put him with 4 seconds left. And maybe he's going to get another one. Yes, he did score another one just at the end. So 7-2, 12-1, 7-1, 8-0, 8-5 is the final score. Unanimous round win for the black. And we are going to be seeing over the space of these two sessions, Session 8 and Session 9, the difference in dynamics between tall fighters and short fighters. We've got Shabana, of course, in the women's final coming up, and she's the ultimate example for that.
Kapir dusare, chimanas. Wara jine duara, gavara. Lsmeste chine. Badesi. Ala ache takis, kuigov duses gal. Kam zaq ache takis. Kapnuma askatsarte che.
Yes, he's letting me translate here.
Well, if you can, Tony, that would be great. Of course, I do know your understanding of Chinese, so that's great. But I'm sure you can tell from the body language and the movement there exactly what's going on.
The gestures translate. I can't pick up the language, but the gestures translate. He is trying to get him to use his jab. He has reach. He's a taller fighter, and I'd like to see him use his legs to his advantage to set up his hands. There he is. You see that he's trying to get the jabs out, and that's what his coach was really imploring him. So there's a good try there. Thigh kick setting up his hand.
And it was a stinging kick that came in from Youssef, and he follows that up with the takedown.
Youssef has that confidence of already knowing that he's won the round without having anything that really hurt him. He's, as we just saw there, able to take Sargis down for a takedown.
The smaller man, again, taking the taller man down.
So Sargis hasn't had a chance to use his weapons against Youssef. So there he's using his kick.
And that did seem to just rattle Yusuf a little bit. He's now standing up. Oh, look at that. He comes straight in with
Sure.
a massive right.
We see that Yusuf is comfortable with standing there, dishing out kicks, punches, or if he's inside, the takedown. Sargis has to throw that timing off balance somehow, because as you just pointed out, Yusuf will come straight forward as he just did.
That's his go-to point.
Beautiful roundhouse kick combination after the punches.
Well, that won't count. They're in the clinch.
Yeah. So Sargis is trying to use his legs, but unfortunately, being that tall and holding on to him, he's not getting any points with his legs there. That left hand jab didn't score, but he's trying to get something out there, and there again, tried to use that push kick, but it's going to have to ease off the lei tai.
Well, he's got that wild card in there as well now. Can go for the second push off. He's going to have to try a lot of styles. He's going to be up against Ji Hui Zhu, of course, later on this afternoon for that gold medal. And he gets it.
Sure.
Another takedown, and he's now far ahead. He's essentially at least 6-7 points ahead.
We see all the great staff around supporting the competition from Indonesia there to cheer their
fighter on, it's true.
Yes.
25 seconds left.
So here's a case where Ji, the fight was much shorter, actually pushed him off the lei tai. It looks like Yusuf is going to go the full fight. Not a lot of techniques thrown in this second round, but still, where Ji has that rest, Yusuf is continuing into 2 rounds of fighting.
And it looked like he got a big hit in there just beforehand, but he's definitely going to do it. And with one last takedown just to galvanize the points at the end.
Pretty comfortably ahead, but Sargis was able to score much better this round. Not enough to win the round, as Yusuf gets a takedown right there.
Well, he did do enough. Obviously, his coaches aren't that happy, but going to give him a pat on the back for sure. Almost a pat on the back. It looked like a little bit of a rough one. But you said there's so much training that goes in, and I think you'd understand, and it's very hard to translate to the world watching exactly that feeling when you're in the gym and you're nowhere near the World Championships, you're nowhere near cameras or spectators, and you've still got to push yourself through. So it's a lot of time invested.
Well, that's the beauty. Maybe as you're standing to bow to the referee and have your equipment checked out, it's sort of the intensity of the moment and the large stadium. But once it starts, it's the reality of only that opponent across from you. And
I'm sure it must feel like it happens so quickly as well, because it is short with so much happening in between. So Yusuf at least keeps the national flag flying, and there's the big cheer you can hear for him. So he'll be fighting this afternoon against a very tough Chinese fighter. We're going to look forward to that one. That is the 48-kilogram class into the 52, and there's a lot more cheering going on because Uchit Sharma is taking on another Indonesian hometown hero. This is Gunawan, the 26-year-old. He actually started with boxing and then moved on to Sanda. I remember reading a profile about him. Uchit Sharma out of India, ferocious and fast. Uchit's in the red.
This should be a good fight. Both of the fighters, you see how active they are from the start. If you remember from both fighters' previous fights, they're willing to put some techniques out there, and as you can see, a great sense of balance.
That's right. Uchit Sharma, of course, took out one of the Vietnamese fighters because he was out fast. It was Van Hoang Dinh in the quarterfinals, and he took out Malaysia's Wei Lung Lee, the bronze medalist from the 2013 World Wushu Championships.
Uchit Sharma off platform, so that wild card is in the pocket of Gunman, even though he doesn't, and he's trying to get it back. Sharma's trying to get it back. So there's a wild card of a push-off in Gunwan's pocket, but he hasn't scored with a couple of judges. So
I wonder if that's going to be his go-to technique. Gunwan beat Jose Enrique Garcia in the quarterfinals and Hong Kong's Man Kan Lam in the round of 16.
So here's an example of where the fighters use the center of the platform, both of them keeping the fight as much as possible in the center of the platform.
Oh, now Uchicama's got, he is ahead on points, but as you said, he's got that wild card against him.
And you see,
it looks like Gunawan's looking to use it.
He's looking to use it, but Uchicama realizes that he needs to stay into the center of the lei tai, being admonished for clinching, but that clinch is to ensure that he's not pushed to the edge of the lei tai again and losing this round on push-offs.
The scores right now 7-2, 3-2, 3-2, 5-2, and 2-2.
What beautiful balance that Sharma just showed us.
It's speed and balance is what's got him here. And this really is a scrap.
Sure. Gunawan has his hands full. Both fighters pretty equally matched here for this late. And Sharma's able to take Gunawan down.
And you can hear some of the fervent Indian support for Uchicama. He goes for the legs.
Well, he realized he was just able to get a takedown. Unfortunately, that time he went down first, but he realized, and now he's just trying to get the points. However, he recalls he earned one. He knows that he has to continue pressing.
Just 18 seconds left as the clock starts up again.
This is the third time he's tried to go low. Those clinches hurting Gunawan much more because he needs to add some points. That thigh kick earned a couple of points from Sharman. He's really stretched out, at least with one judge.
Well, the judges, two of them have it very close, and two of them have it with the biggest spread. One of them at 11-5, and that's enough. So he managed to at least ward off that wild card, which was hanging against him. I'm sure he didn't want to get pushed off. 13-5, 7-4, 6-4, 10-4, 5-4, and he now has the upper hand in this bout with that one round up. I wonder if we'll see something a little bit more dramatic. Not that it hasn't been dramatic already, but something a little bit more complex maybe.
Okay, sekarang saya serang. Pulang serang dia. Jangan ke depan. Mulai ti. Santai, jangan tekan.
So here's a case where both coaches, both corners realize that their fighters pretty evenly matched. So trying to be very supportive, directive, not any strong admonishing that you hear. Just telling them to go out, continue to press. In Gunawan's category, just keep doing, earn some points.
Yeah.
They are very evenly matched, but Sharma was able to build the points.
And Sharma keep going, still going low, and that's, he's got to build, he's got to break that rhythm that Sharma's got in terms of picking up points.
Sure, and part of what he's doing to pick up those points is he's going low. If he gets a chance to grab and go low and take Gunawan down, that's what he's doing. We haven't seen as many points scored from the hands or from the feet. We're 30 seconds in, and some judges haven't seen any scoreable techniques yet.
Gunawan is rooted at 0 with all 5 judges so far. 30 seconds into round 2, and he's got to be asking some questions. He's having a look at his coaching staff now, just in tiny laps. He's standing off a bit, but he still comes in. He's going low again.
His go-to is the takedown, and so that earned him 1 point. But again, he has earned 1 point, and Gunawan still hasn't made it onto the board yet with at least 4 of the judges. That push kick, finally some points from push kick, but you see grappling to take Gunawan down. He realizes that he has an upper edge in terms of really being able to muscle. And there, Gunawan finally gets Sharma down for 2 points that should put him on the board.
Well, that gets him a lot closer to Uchit with enough time still left in the round.
Yes, some punches. Finally, we see some punches scored from Gunawan. He used his hands.
Well, this is much better from Gunawan. He's now around about 2 to 3 points. Some judges just 1 point off.
And there, push off for both fighters, but in that case, Sharma's going for the takedown with the legs. And these aren't some of the throws that we've seen earlier. This is grab the leg and let me just see if I can muscle you down. In the clinch here with 48 seconds, a lot of time left, but this is where Gunnaman needs to use the time.
He was a bit low on that kick. It looked like it was just under the knee. Push it for whichever techniques he's using is at least bringing back some points.
Sharma is reaching in pretty low, and if Gunnaman was able to, if it was in his tool belt, he would be able to just press Sharma down because Sharma reaches pretty low, and both fighters are about the same height. But once he grabs his leg, it's done.
And that has put him firmly ahead now with 24 seconds left. And while Gunawan has been breaking into that fighting space, he, as you can see there, just kind of breaks down after the first hit.
But this will be a good training tape for Gunnaman. He'll see where most of his points were won by his opponent. That's where, once he gets the leg.
That's it. Once he's that has been Uchid Sharma's favored technique in this semi-final.
So this is where Gunnaman will be able to look at some of the fights where we saw fighters on one leg, holding out and
around.
Fighting. Just pushed him down and
off. So not only does he get the push off, he's now very clearly ahead, and it looks like he's going to be moving through to the final.
This is Gunnaman not willing to give up any ground. Good for him. He's got to fall off.
2 seconds is probably just a little bit too much for him. And the gong sounds 17-7, 9-6, 10-6, 15-5, and 11-4. Strategic, tactical fight, which was played out by Uchid Sharma. Well done. Now he's going to fight either Arnel Mandel from the Philippines, who we've also been watching since day one, and Salatin Yildiz, who we watched yesterday. That final will take place, said in session 9, the final session of the 13th World Wushu Championships. And that's where all the medals are. Well, actually, the medals are here as well. It's different colors of medals in the afternoon. The bronze medal shared between the last two fighters that the semi-finals had, the semi-finalists had fought. In which case, Van Huang Din and Jose Enrique Garcia will be sharing the bronze here. And that's Uchid Sharma just giving a big shout out to the Indian team, who are still here and very happy because they've had fighters in the women's and men's draw that have been doing very well.
This is what
you're talking about, the pipeline.
That's right, really developing the depth through enough appearances in competitions at this level.
So here it is. This is the second semi-final in the 52-kilogram class. One of these fighters will be fighting Uchid later on. He was just past him as they walked on. We've got Arnel Mandel from the Philippines in red, and we've got Salatin Yildiz in the black.
Flurry of techniques from both opponents in that opening few seconds. Wow,
that was big.
That right hand from Mandel. He knocked Yildiz down to his knee. Yildiz showing us that he can look at the barrage of punches, and we have just stopped the fight.
Well, that is incredible. Arnel Mandel has taken just 17 seconds to land the big punch.
I think this fight is over. I think the well, they're going to let him continue, but
that's the other big one. He just took another punch, and you kind of saw that coming after the. So 18 seconds was how long Arnel Mandel needed. If you're going to make a statement of intent when you're getting into the final, it has to be that. What fast hands he came out with.
Well, this is where, when I looked from the perspective of being there on the platform, it looked as if he was still a little bit glazed over.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's this appearance of I'm alert, but he just took a heavy right cross over there. And it was only a matter of the count going to 8, and then the awarding of points, and then he was back in there. So in this instance, his opponent threw a flurry of maybe 3 punches, and he was out again.
Yeah.
So that lets you know that he was still pretty shaken from that first onslaught.
And even though there was the discussion with the head table, you saw him kind of standing up. It just took one big left after that from Arnel Mandel. So you're talking about conserving energy. Well, he was on for 17 seconds, and he's now made it through to the final. And that is our first knockout of the day.
Well, it looks like he's able to stand, so that's always a good sign. We know that
we had 8
they're
knockouts
going to,
yesterday.
while they're placing him on the stretcher. I just saw him sit up, so
Well, that is
this is just a precaution.
Biggest,
So,
and it's just these early moments after the knockout that are really concerning.
so he took quite a few punches there. If we recall, in the early seconds of the fight, he took punches that sort of sent him down to his knee. And then those were followed up with another barrage of punches.
Yeah.
And then there's able to, people can see that he's looking around.
He's looking around and moving. He's probably asking, can I get off the stretcher? But for safety's sake, he's going to be taken to the medical room, which has had a fair few people going through it. Yusuf Widianto, another Indonesian hometown hero, is going to make a shout for the final, this time in the 56-kilogram category. And he's up against Amanbekov Avazbek, who, if I'm right, was also one of the people that delivered a knockout yesterday. I'm just going to have to check that. The name, the name rings a bell. You have to excuse us.
Seen so many fighters.
So many fighters and so many knockouts in the last 2 days. You were saying about how the competition would get harder and tighter. You know, we really have seen it, especially with the big boys, the 85 and 90 kilograms. Went.
Amanbekov's talking to one of the strong fighters we saw in the 90-kilogram one in his corner there.
Oh, yeah, we remember him.
I think you're right about Amanbekov.
It was, in fact, Felipe de Lima Suarez. He was the man that was knocked out.
I think with a spinning hook.
I think it was with the spinning hit quick as well. I wonder if we're now going to see that again.
Indonesia taking the fight to Amanbekov here. Yusuf showing that he's willing to mix it up. We still haven't seen a lot yet from Amanbekov. He's just sort of sizing up his opponent, but he gets that. He's getting a thigh kick in, and there's a kick to the face. We know how dangerous those kicks to the face are for Amanbekov, so hopefully Yusuf has his guard up enough. It's a left cross, really strong left cross, and there Yusuf's able to stand strong and take him down.
Oh, it's going to be tough. Look at this.
Nice
Listen to
kick.
the sound.
Both fighters exchanging techniques with their legs, and there Yusuf on the other end of a takedown.
The big man in his corner is Abdurrahimov Kwan from Kyrgyzstan, who knocked out Fanny Lopdago from the Ivory Coast. Yeah, that was huge.
Amanbekov feeling little, you see him moving, feeling that he can get in either from his punches, he's leading with punches, but there's Yusuf showing that he can take him down as well. So pretty evenly matched here, which is what you would hope at this stage in the competition.
Yes, he did firmly beat. It was actually on Tuesday that he took out Felipe de Suarez from Brazil.
There's an attempted takedown, but enough for Yusuf to get the count because Amanbekov's glove went down to hold him up.
Now the points are very interestingly spread out. 8-7, 9-3, 9-9, 10-4,
spinning
8-1.
side kick.
And Yusuf.
Amanbekov leads with a very strong very strong left hand. We'll see it again, I'm sure. He has a right-sided fighting stance, so he there's that spinning kick, and looked like Yusuf was waiting for it. Amanbekov got the points for it from a couple of judges, not everyone.
Both still looking very active. 9 seconds counting down. The beepers ringing, as you can hear.
Amanbekov edging just ahead with some handwork.
Just in these last few seconds, it's true. Yusuf Widianto was ahead up to about 25 seconds left in that round, and then a good flurry from Amanbekov, and that's seen him through. 11-9, 8-9.
And as
actually,
expected,
I'm sorry,
you
I
can
correction. It's a 3-2 for Indonesia.
right.
So close.
That's how close the match was.
Oh, well done to Yusuf Widianto.
Mulai jangan sini tunggu di sini. Oke.
Jangan nunggu. Kalau nyerang jangan langsung masuk. Ya?
Masuk.
Pancing-pancing, oke.
Asalkan ada kesempatan langsung panjang sini. Oke.
Well, I can actually help on the translation there. He was talking about entering, getting inside, and using his punches. So I think they're looking to see more punch combinations as you go through.
Well, as we saw Amanbekov just in the last few seconds, that's where his points came from. Some punches, and we haven't seen. So they're both fighters showing their hands. And Yusuf has fast hands. Can't say that we saw him earning points with those hands. There's a roundhouse kick that earned some points for Amanbekov, and still Yusuf's not quite on the board with all of the judges. Amanbekov fighting off out of the clinch, which is what you want to see.
Yeah, especially this level, you were saying that you're not really gonna, well, you might get some clean techniques, but really you're probably gonna have to dig them out of the attack or a defense that you're in. Well, there's a big
right
kick.
leg is dangerous from Amanbekov, but Yusuf's been able to evade that spinning side kick.
Well, I just wonder, with his coaches asking him to get into the fighting space and start, we've seen the punches coming out already in the second round, if he's going to leave himself open for that kick. We've already seen hovering
There's
around.
a nice reverse there from Amanbekov.
And that's going to put him in the lead.
Just show you, there's a slip that gets him 2 points of those back. But 2 of those points that Yusuf has were from that mistake. So here Yusuf with a mini lead, but at any given moment, Amanbekov's using his hands.
Yeah. Looking a little bit more loose now, but what a great round.
There he gets a takedown. He took a thigh kick that earned some points for him. Bekov and its punch sliding in, trying to hold on there. 56 seconds. This is only a mini lead, and there's a lot of time left.
As we saw there, a couple of punch combos coming out from Amanbekov.
Yusuf couldn't quite capitalize on getting him off balance. Both of these fighters, the score shows just how evenly matched they are. Can go either way.
That's right, not much at all to separate
good
them.
hands from Amanbekov to score a couple of points there. And that's what's happening. The 1 or 2 points from those punches. Spinning jump, little jump there for the side kick. Didn't score, but that roundhouse kick should score, and it does. There's trying to push him off.
And he's holding on, and that I think is the most clear-cut example of holding on and making sure that he doesn't concede them.
Here's a fighter that held on at the elbow level. Maybe they see these gloves come off too easily.
There's evolution in everything. Sure. I think he's done enough. He just won Yusuf Widianto the opening round 3-2.
8 seconds there. You hear the fans urging him on, and that 1 point with 3 seconds left may be just enough.
I think it has done it for him. There's the big
spinning kick, and no score, but enough for him. And you hear the crowd happy to see him through to the 3rd round.
So 2 of the 3 Indonesians we're going to see on finals day today have made it through to the final. That is Yusuf Widianto through, and he's now going to fight one of these 2 fighters stepping on. 11-4, 7-3, 8-4, 8-9, 8-3. So 4-1 with the judges in the second round, 3-2, very close on the first round, but he is through.
Well, this is a case where he really had to fight. He really had to fight in this bout to make it earn his way into that final match. Both of these fighters should feel good about Bekov should feel good about what he left on the Leitai.
So we've got Islam Shahata from Egypt taking on Islam Shahata taking on Van Bao To from Vietnam. Bilal Talhal was the last person to feel Islam Shahata's punch in the quarterfinals. Van Bao To had a relatively easy quarterfinal against Nassif Azhar, who realized that his throwing technique was not going to work against someone as fast as Van Bao To. Van Bao To fighting in the red. One of these fighters just moves forward there and starts fighting. Absolutely no fear about entering that fighting space. Wow, that's another
very,
fight.
very active Van. We saw this with Van yesterday.
Yep.
Look at that takedown, it's beautiful.
It's quick, it's fast, and he's very alert and very aware. Look at the way he evaded that. Another one of these fighters that can fight on one leg, and you can see he's just about, well, switched it to the right.
You can tell he's very comfortable. Beautiful skip side into the side kick. Very comfortable staying outside of the fighting distance, knowing that he's fast enough to get inside
and get
with his
out,
technique. There's Islam scoring with that spinning side kick, and
it's reversed.
And there, Van realizing right away to get the point back. We see Islam's team using the board over there, watching the points to see where their fighter is in the fight. He's still within striking distance here. And there he gets another point by taking down Van. So he's right there even with some of the judges, a couple of the judges. But
it is indeed 46 seconds, 45 seconds left now. And he's just shading it.
Sure, there's a roundhouse kick, and there's Van trying to push him off. And actually, both of the fighters are off.
And it was such frustration for the team.
Delayed reaction there. But here's a case where he's been able to turn the tide of the fight, and Van needs to get in there and earn some of these points.
Well, the interesting is 2 judges have scored it to Vietnam, 2 to Egypt.
Darius fighting out of the clinch, but Islam coming up with the roundhouse kick as he came out of that clinch that scored. So Islam's been able to mount more points in these last 15 seconds as we count down to the last 10 seconds of the fight, and that's really helped him. And that takedown, unfortunately, Islam.
That might do it.
So.
Well, as we look at the points, it was split on one, and it now looks like, it has been in fact split on both. 7-10-7, 7-6, 6-10, 11-10, and 7-7 was how it was scored in the end. And it has been awarded to red based on points.
Nước. Tài đâu nhá?
Cao kìa.
Cao đâu?
And he is expected, you can hear the frenetic Egyptian coaches coaching Islam Shahata and just asking him or telling him and he's back on the Leitai now. And it's a very short time to get information in. It's just about 45 seconds, if I'm right, between the rounds.
It's a full minute. The last 10 seconds, the platform referee is calling the fighters
right,
up.
Okay, right.
It feels like about 45 seconds because by the time you get off the platform, a few seconds are eaten, and then you're waiting for and in this case, when the fighter has too much water on the
They have to
equipment.
wipe them down.
But the
Now,
break time is already
quickly will
elapsed.
that go to a warning if...
It won't. That's something that they'll accept because actually the platform referee initiated that. The fighter was already on the platform.
So we have Van Bauto 1 round ahead.
1 round ahead, and inspired Islam and scoring with that roundhouse kick. So Van, it's his fight to hold on to. Islam's just trying to get back to the beautiful punches.
Yep.
Islam has very strong hands, and Van gets a takedown. But Islam clearly scored a number of points in that exchange. You see,
he is ahead now.
20 seconds in, he's ahead, at least with a couple of judges.
Wow, that's heavy hits.
The thigh kick is earning him 1 point, and as long as Van scores with a punch, then they stay neck and neck. And that spread continues. So what Van has to do is make up some of that difference. Right now, he's lagging by a point or two.
One
with
judge.
A couple judges.
Yeah, one judge has it at 4.
There's a roundhouse kick, and actually, Islam has his strong lower body strength there. He fought it off for as long as he could.
Well, that was well needed by Van, who was weathering a bit of a storm from the Egyptian fighter.
Well, he has a fighter who's pressing him at every second.
50 seconds left in the second round.
This is where Islam of Egypt started to make his move in this part of the round and really evened up the score. Now, unfortunately, he just got 8-second passivity. So he won't make that mistake again, but Van needs to get a little bit more of a cushion. This is close when you have 30 seconds left. There, Van still trying to make something happen, but he knows that Islam from Egypt really has a strong defense there.
Well, he's increased that fighting distance now, Van. He's just staying a little bit further back.
Well, there he gets him down. But in this case, with the clock ticking down, this is where Van's extended distance out of the zone is helping him, because Islam now has to make up that room, and you see him knowing that he needs to press in. His corner telling him to come on in, but Van is very comfortable in that space.
Now we can see him coming,
and he
over. Puts him to the clinch, and in the end it's 10-3, 7-3, 6-5, 8-4, 8-1. Unanimous red round. And Van Bauto will now face Yusuf Widianto, the hometown hero, in the final later this afternoon.
Here's a case where Islam had to adapt to fighting distance that Van was very comfortable in, trying to come in, but it was a little bit too much at the end there.
Well, up next is the fighters in true Sanda tradition pay their respects to the opposing corners and the fighters and the judges. We have now moved up to 60 kilograms, and this has been the red-hot draw in the last 3 days. Hong Xing Kong has been in amazing form. In and out, very fast, lots of punches, lots of kicks, lots of techniques, up against Francisco Solis, the fighter that's come through. He beat Abdul Haris Sofian, the Indonesian hero. He beat Noporit from Thailand, and he also beat Hazim Erdem, the Turkish fighter, Jajil Atmane with on the first day.
Well, the Philippines is a country that's had long tradition here in Sanda, and often some of the countries exchange sort of fights, scrimmages, if you will. So I remember years and years ago, Philippine team being in Beijing to train, met some of them. So China knows what to expect here, as the Philippine team.
Hong is fighting in the red, Francisco in the black, and already we've seen in the first 20 seconds a lot of punches and a lot of kicks. But being so precise, Hong is the one that's been scoring from them.
Sure, but there's a nice flurry of hands from Francisco, but there we go. We know that Kong has another gear.
Yeah, for sure. We saw that yesterday.
Nice roundhouse kick, and that was...
It looked like it connected, and it connected big, and he's getting a count. He's having trouble. I think that's it, Tony.
Yep, it is it.
And Hong looks on. I think he expected, he wanted it. You were saying how some of these fighters look for practice before the finals.
You look at his leg, and you could hear the kick. I'm almost sure it was an inside kick to his thigh that was there, and you see the right leg stretched out.
Yeah.
It was a strong thigh kick because we could hear it up here.
Oh, here we go.
That's it. That was the kick that did it. So that lets you know how much power is in Kong's right leg, that thigh kick caused his leg to buckle.
Yeah, just buckled and made that leg dead, and before you know it, it's going to be very difficult to fight with one leg. The other one we saw fighters trying to fight on with dead limbs. Yesterday doesn't work out. Thankfully, it is in the leg, so it looked for a second maybe it was a sneaky punch, but no. And what can you say about Hong Xing Kong? He's into the final with just his right leg.
That just shows you thigh kick. Many people say, oh, that was just 1 point, but this is how devastating a strong thigh kick is to the inside thigh. Fighters are accustomed to taking thigh kicks on the outside.
And then the outside, yeah. So.
Inside can be a tough thigh kick, and we just saw an example of that. We've actually seen a lot of fighters scoring with thigh kicks, but that one was just too much for his leg.
Well, shows respect.
Coach is not really sure because as we've seen a lot of thigh kicks throughout the competition, and they haven't sort of stopped the fight, but he had an impressive amount of power behind the kick, and who knows, it could have been that Solis has been through some fights and there was a sort of a sensitive area already, but it was enough for Kong to move through.
Well, the 60-kilogram draw, as we said, has proved electric, and now that Hong Xing Kong is in the final, look who you might be fighting. The defending gold medalist from the 12th World Wushu Championships, Ali Magomedov, taking on the second fighter from India today, Surya Singh. Surya in the reds, Ali in the black. And we saw textbook Sanda from Ali yesterday.
Of course, he's fighting another one of our fighters that, if I'm not mistaken, did Ali score a knockout?
I think he did. Yeah. In fact, I'll just check that for you right now.
Good ring movement by Ali. Side kick. So Surya's going to have to make a faster side kick if he expects to score with it, because we just saw Ali pretty easily grab the kick. And Ali's won with that spinning hook, spinning side kick, generating power from that spin, whether it's a hook or a side kick. And Surya showing us that he knows how to neutralize takedown.
There's already some big points being scored by Ali.
Sure. Surya hasn't been able to really get in there.
I think it may have been, yes, against Francisco Martins de Souza Ferreira. It may have been the last person he fought. And again, another fighter. Ali's another fighter that just keeps that distance and is very comfortable about moving in and moving out.
Sure, Surya's a solid stance here. The problem is, by not getting in, he's not scoring points either.
Yeah.
And Ali already has points. So you see him trying to respect the space, and there's the platform referee prompting him to start the fight. In that case, actually, Ali helped him because Ali took the fight to him. And as you see, Ali's willing to take the fight. Surya unfortunately fell down.
Amazing balance from Ali, didn't fall.
Yeah. Surya was resisting going to the edge and trying to push back. Just not enough balance there. There you got one punch in.
Wow, it's amazing how as soon as he gets into a clench, that right leg immediately comes over for the sweep every single time. He hasn't connected with it yet.
Well, you see how
he's bouncing around.
You see how Ali feels very loose out there. He doesn't feel like his opponent is giving him anything that he had to worry too much about. Still good adrenaline. There's that spin. He actually spun with the kick and then followed up with the hand. Nice takedown.
very quick fighter indeed, and unanimous winner in black. I'll try my best to translate Russian.
Well, I think one of those was a push kick. I could at least follow the gesture from his coach. Here's a case of the difference of the fighters. He doesn't want that energy to settle down by sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
Other corner
Surya,
sees how winded Surya is, giving his legs a break.
And that's got to be more psychologically affecting for the other fighter if you look over and you see your opponent just bouncing around. Now, interestingly enough, the Indian corner were just saying counter, 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 because they know these attacks are going to come from someone as efficient as Ali. And as you were saying yesterday, you got to get in, get something, and get out.
This is a great thing about having a partner here that's able to help with some of the translation. That's a good timing from Surya, but he's too close to the edge and he's off.
And it was that spinning side kick in the end.
He was evading the kick, but so close as he evaded. He's done a pretty good job of staying in the center of the lei tai, but this is where Ali has pressed him. He's now at the corner, and this is where it was dangerous for him, and Ali knows he has another fight, and he's happy to. He couldn't, once a fighter hits the lei tai, you can't continue the fighting. Ali realized he was close enough to go for the push off, and he doesn't mind doing that at this point, saves him some time. He knows he can mix it up and score points. It's a nice kick by Surya, not scoring. That one scored though, little off balance afterwards, but he got the points.
And there's another takedown.
Immediate takedown.
The points are in the bag for Ali, and he's really in good shape.
Well, he's 45 seconds into the fight, and he's already in double digits. You see his movement and how comfortable he is there. Surya's still trying to figure out what he wants to do to make something happen, and you'll see Ali, if Surya takes too long, initiate, and that's what he did. He took a risk, he came in, Surya has his leg, but he still hasn't scored the point.
Now he's in dangerous position again. Almost had it, but
Surya has shown us he knows how to stay on the lei tai when he needs to.
And now he initiates for once while he's got nothing to lose, as you say.
This is how good Ali's balance is. He was up at least 3 seconds on one leg. He was pushed off, so now we have one fall off each. But you don't see any worry in Ali's eyes about that.
Not at all, because
Surya hopefully can capitalize on it, because he's up against a tough fighter now.
And he's been closing down the various corners of the lei tai. There's a couple of extra blows that are not going to count.
Well, here Surya is actually close enough with a couple of the judges. Now he's far behind with some of the other judges. If he made enough clear technique, he could edge up. He is 4-12 with one judge, but within striking distance for a couple of the judges. This countdown, though, looks like Ali will move on to the next round. Go down to 10 seconds. Surya trying a little something there. No points scored. And we're finished with Ali.
Yeah, finished. Ali's made it through to the final, where he will defend his gold medal, which he picked up in the last World Wushu Championships.
So Surya has to feel not too bad about being able to stay in there with the champion.
Now, just going back, just for my own statistical use, I suppose. How would you define Hong Xing Pong's? That's not a knockout. It's essentially kicked the leg, and the leg went down, but it was stopped. So is that would be, what's the technical term for it?
Well, no, the technical term for him going down. No, this is a fighter that couldn't continue. Wasn't quite a technical knockout in that he wasn't, but he couldn't continue the fight.
Right. The technical victory then.
He was counted out. He was counted out.
Okay, right, yeah.
He was counted out to 10.
I'll put that down. Now, so Ali is through to the final, and now we move to the 65 kilogram. Heavier and heavier as we move through finals. That's exactly what the viewers around the world watching on World Wushu TV want to see, a constant progression of classes, and just the best fighters from those classes fighting for the medals. That's what it's all about. Kazbek Mamayev in the red against Seongmo Park in the black, and this is going to be a huge fight.
Well, it looks like a battle of the legs as we just saw them both opening with kicks, and there's Seongmo bringing some hands to the fight, but they both open with kicks, so we know that they have some fast kicks. Not every judge scored the kicks, but here's some complete fighters.
Well, Kazbek took out Vietnamese fighter Van Cao Hong in the quarterfinals. Antonio Caponigro from Italy in the round of 16. And Seongmo Park, Savas Becker in the quarterfinals. And also Eric Pereira Mendes.
So Red, well, there he finally throws up a technique. You can see with his technique that he's not really sure how to get in there yet.
This is, as you said,
Kazbek.
Big kick-based fight.
That's right. Both of them realizing if they take a thigh kick, better to get it back now. And Seongmo has him close enough to the edge that
to go for the throw.
Sure, he gave him a solid push, a solid side kick. You can see Kazbek not too worried about his roots on the lei tai. He stayed at the edge. Was able to circle around.
Good movement from both fighters.
Seongmo showing that he's a little bit more of a reactive fighter here, which is why the platform referee, that's a beautiful sliding side kick. It's a great right leg there and good defense, good defense.
And in terms of points, 15 seconds left.
That's right, a very competitive round for these guys. Able to do a great job evading what they both know, and that slip actually
is going to decide the round.
That's right, with 4 seconds to go, unless Kazbek does something with counting down.
Wow.
That slip cost him 2 points, and for some judges, that was 5 to 7.
Yep.
They were neck and neck before that.
3, 7-1, 7-5, 9-8, 7-2 in the end, but it was that slip that added a couple of points on right at the end. Now, this is going to be something that Kazbek Mamayev hasn't had to deal with because, of course, he's been a clear winner in all his rounds. Now, that slip plus a competitive fighter is going to make a difference. I'll tell you now, Tony, I had absolutely no career.
Well,
absolutely none.
I can tell you that one had to do with leading with the thigh kick, moving in. His coach is happy with how he's handled himself there because he has a strong kicker in Kazbek as well. And yet,
надо же не просто в тупую, я говорю бей. Это же не значит, что ты кидать должен. Чуть собрано, дергай рукой, позади рукой.
so here he wants to see more hands there.
Ничего нет у него.
Not a bad strategy because we know that Kazbek has good hands, but so does Seongmo. So it's a matter of how they're able to follow up with those kicks that are leading them in. Both of them using a lot of roundhouse kicks. We saw more side kicks coming, and Seongmo really using that reach that he has with his leg. And right off the bat, you see Kazbek trying to.
I wonder if this change to punches is going to leave that tiny window for Seongmo to start connecting even more with these kicks.
We'll see. We'll see both of them are excellent off their front leg kicking.
That was nicely just palmed away. Nice.
Seongmo trying to slide in. That's exactly what his coach wanted him to do. Right there, Kazbek takes advantage of that leg. Neither of them have been able to grab each other's legs much throughout the fight.
And that's good. That's put him on the points and has put him in the lead as well, and also made his coaches very, very happy.
That thigh kick, though, gets Seongmo a point back. So the takedown scored 2 for Kazbek. Beautiful roundhouse kick that connected.
Oh, Kazbek is really coming out now.
Bending like a reed there.
Bending like a reed in the wind. How flexible and agile these fighters are.
Well, here's an example. Kazbek has nothing to lose here by trying to get the round back from a fighter that he feels completely confident with. He just got a nice left jab in there that scored him some points. They are pretty close here with 45 seconds, so the fight can go, this bout can go either way. There's Sung Mo trying to make something happen. It's Sung Mo that needs to make something happen to make good use of that first round that he has in his pocket.
Well, he's just gone ahead for all judges. I wonder if that's going to
move. That thigh kick should have earned him the point. And that right, look at that left and right. Look at that beautiful punch that sent him down.
I was wondering when that was going to happen.
Well,
it's
1 second, so let's see. Oh no, I'm sorry. 13 seconds. So you can believe that Kazbek knows that he just downed his opponent with a nice punch. Sung Mo turning and see if he can hold on.
He's looking for a push-off.
Yeah, Kazbek goes down and Sung Mo holds on with one leg in 2 seconds. What an exciting fight here. Look at that.
It is unbelievable.
What an exciting fight.
The lead in that round changed pretty much every 5 seconds for the last 30.
Judge number 4 still has them tied.
13-9, 14-8, 10-7,
That's a beautiful
14,
right
14.
that sent Sung Mo down.
And 11-8. Wow.
That inside, he got an inside thigh kick from his left leg, the same type of kick that we just saw take out a fighter. But he's got to be very happy about that.
Sung Mo Park was really up against it in that second round. Kazbek had come back. First he got him down, then he was looking for the takedown. It's just that slip at the end that made all the difference, and you saw what it meant to Park as well when he put his fists up because he knew he'd won it, but that's how close it was in bout number 9 in this morning session of the 13th World Wushu Championships 2015. Now up next, I'm supposed to stay neutral, but I have to say that I've been rooting for this Chinese fighter, Jifu Zhu, simply because of the technique that he has matched to your words, Tony. He's just been absolutely perfect in a lot of respects, and I think we've actually seen 2 knockouts from him now. There was a spinning kick beforehand, and then yesterday he was in action again. And if I'm right, he was delivering. I'm pretty sure of it. The other big knockout.
Well, I can tell you, Jeevan, that this is right where Iran wants to be. They want to put their strong fighters up against the best.
Yeah.
They want to put them up against the best. This is what they trained for, and they feel very confident going in.
So G in the black up against Jafar Tobroglu.
Nice punch from Jafar. Get him on the board.
And you can hear the Chinese fighters backing their fighter while he takes him down.
See a little bit of reaction there for a thigh kick to give him just a small lead, because Jafar has already shown us that he's willing to step in.
So Jafar doing very well to stop that initial progression of points that we've seen almost automatically.
Look at those hands from G. And he takes him down.
He's got such strong upper body strength.
That exchange of punches earned him at least 2 of those punches, 2 of those points. So unlike we see some punches that are unfocused, out of those 3, 2 of them were on target.
And that's how he manages to keep these points going. He's already way ahead, but it was Yaohan Sliapsu that got knocked out by him yesterday.
Nice left hand. It's a strong left hand. But we see that Jafar is really still staying in there, trying to figure out what he needs to do.
Yeah.
G's timing is so good that every time Jafar throws something out, for the most part, G is coming right back in.
And he also has so much speed. Oh, there's a hook kick there.
Yeah, there's a hook kick. That's a little loss of balance there for Jafar. And with 40 seconds left in this is a pretty big gap that G has already created.
Well, he manages to do that so well. And again, there he's bouncing just outside the space, and look at him as he moves in. And that was a big hit. That was a big hit. And I think he's looking for another knockout here.
Well, G just sees a big target there, and he's slightly faster initiating the technique than Jafar. Jafar's strong, and but Ji is just fast enough that his reaction is scoring points after Jafar opens up. Watch that. That's an example of what I mean. And
wonderful.
then at will.
Absolutely wonderful. He can literally release whatever technique he wants at will, and that's 12-4, 15-2, 17-4, 15-4, 15-1 against an aggressive fighter.
But I want you to see, while the score looks a bit lopsided, here is Jafar standing toe-to-toe with a champion fighter there, with Ji, with such a strong fighter.
Yeah. And still, as always, you pointed out, the Chinese team just not happy even with those wonderful scores.
Well, like what the country and Iran's doing the same thing right now. They are talking about continuing to improve in the next round. What do you need to do? Iran is talking to their fighter about getting more of his hands out. China's talking about his reaction and his left hand. He has a big left hand. He can lead with his left hand and have a stunning punch.
Yeah.
And not even depend on his right hand. But as often, Ji's able to go to another gear if he needs to go to. Look at that reaction.
Well, he started the second round just as devastatingly as he started the first.
Both of these countries really wanting to be in this place in the competition and giving everything they have.
Look at the strength.
Yeah, but look at Jafar able to hang in there and hold on. China's not worried about that, but Jafar showing us that
he's in here. He's in it to win it.
He's willing to stay in this fight toe-to-toe. Not enough, because every time he opens up, unless he scores, Ji is showing us that he will score from that opening. Nice solid side kick that scored him some points.
Went back to the punches. I didn't connect, but he's already built up one of these mini leads that we were talking about.
Watch him when Jafar steps in and he throws his hook, just like that.
Yeah.
His right hand round, trading.
It is trading. It's trading techniques. It's trading punches and essentially trading points.
So Ji just had enough time to glance over at the clock to see where he was.
Well, it has to be said, Jafar's put up probably the toughest fight that Ji's had in the last 3 days.
Well, absolutely. This, as I said to you, this is where Iran wants their fighters. They train to fight the best fighters, and so if they have to be on the lay tie with a tough fighter, they only get to improve from this.
Yeah.
We saw that a little bit with one of the fighters yesterday who really wasn't physically able to continue his fight, but wanted to continue a fight even without an arm, use of an arm.
Well, what's interesting here is that Jizifu has not had the same ability to pick up his opponent and throw them off. He's tried it a couple of times, but Jafar's strong enough.
Well, there he just showed us what he can do with his sway jaw if he needs to. But Jafar has continued to press. He's continued to press. He's taken some strong punches. He has not had to contend with a clear-cut spinning hook or punch to knock him out. But
look at those scores: 9-1, 13-3, 10-1, 11-5, 8-2. Another good performance and a clean win for Ji.
But look, you don't see his coaches admonishing him. They know that he was fighting a tough fighter. It's disappointing always, because clearly he's a strong fighter to get to this point. It's disappointing.
So, Zhu Jifu through, but not as easily, and I wonder if he's now going to have a very tough fight against Seungmo Park in the final, and that is the 65-kilogram. So here we have Ali Al-Kazi, and Mohamed Saifi has been declared the winner. Of course, this is one of the defaults that we saw earlier, and as we said, it is a number of factors that could lead to these defaults, and I'm sure it's going to be tragic for them And this is another one here. As I heard it, Cao Enrique Pitoli. Well, I heard that he wasn't going to be fighting. Yes, in fact, he isn't. Which means...
Right, I remember seeing yesterday Al-Kazi with a bandage over his eye, so
yeah,
I
that's
wonder
right.
if...
I wonder if it was that cut that he picked up in
right.
the quarterfinals. So Mohsen Mohamed Saifi makes it through to the finals in the 70 kilograms, and Ali Ai has made it through to face him in the 70 kilograms. Both, unfortunately, two fighters that couldn't continue, and they were good fighters as well, Ali Al-Kazi and Cao Enrique Pitoli. So, as we move on, we now have Artur Malkasian, who has been impressing against Kun Zhang.
But I just want to show you here, we're able to look at, we have the information in front of us, look at these coaches at the later stages of the fight, really just walking one fighter in, walking one fighter out.
Yeah.
So while that's disappointing, I'm sure, for Iran in terms of that fighter not making it, what we have is looking at another fighter that's through. So here's
so
Artur
Malkasian from Armenia in the black. And he's going to be fighting another Chinese fighter, another strong Chinese fighter as well, Kun Zhang.
In good spirits, that's what you always hope to see with a fighter. Such a
so disciplined,
big
look at
time
that,
in the tournament.
And there you go. This is how you get him. You go in, bang, bang, and then you hit him with a kick.
Well, you can be sure he's not talking to him about any new techniques. He's just talking to him about what he can do.
He's talking about gear one at the moment. Maybe in round two, they say, right, okay, this is, you're going to have to start bringing in the serious stuff. But there has been this amazing calm, and I think as you're talking about pipeline countries coming through, they must feel it as well when they get to a point where it's a calm. They know they can take a few hits. They know they can give a few hits.
Well, this is about training for this level of competition, and when you've been at such a high level for long enough, you sort of have the recipe for what it takes to create the fighters, what it takes to develop the foundation.
Well, tries to go for the early throw, catches it, then the fists. And now Artur's in trouble. He's
literally holding on. And
it had to happen in the end.
So
there are certain laws of physics that cannot be broken.
Artur held on. Look at that kick. He just kicked, and Artur went down holding the kick, but all the way down to the ground.
Well, Kun Zhang
shows you how flexible Kun's hips are in terms of his kicking ability. And we're talking about 75-kilogram fighters here.
Kun Zhang knocked out one of the heaviest knockouts, Kayam Safikhanov from Azerbaijan yesterday.
That's solid roundhouse kick. But look, he's still on his leg and actually gets the point.
That's incredible.
Artur had Kun's leg. They moved over at least 5 feet, and he still was able to. That was 3 points, and there's another 1 point.
Well, it is incredible how it's almost instinctive. The Chinese fighters, they move to the shui jiao immediately and get their throw in, get their takedown in. Nothing really big yet from Kun Zhang, but
just some good solid punches there. But we know that he has another gear.
That's right, and that's exactly what.
Beautiful roundhouse kick to the face. That Artur is a solid guy. A side kick that scored, followed up by jabs. So you see how relaxed. You see how relaxed Kun is.
He's just walking up to him, standing right in front of him, toe to toe, and still Artur doesn't quite know.
Artur's close to the edge there, but you don't see Kun trying to go for the push-off. He's willing to stand there and trade technique with him.
With 20 seconds left, he's clearly ahead. And now he's just not even hit 20.
Artur's a strong, sturdy fighter, able to withstand some of these blows. But if he's not careful, the spread will be so low. And the head judge, head Sanda judge doesn't like to stop a fight for these countries that have made it this far.
Absolutely, I can totally understand that,
Artur has to be able to show that he can respond as opposed to just take techniques for them to feel comfortable that the fight isn't in a danger zone.
Well, that was double digits, 18-1, 19-2, 22, 18-1, 14-0. Across the board for Kun Jang, who at times was literally walking and picking off all of his techniques. Very strong again.
Out of the clinch with.
And while Artur, as you said, is a little bit stocky, let's hear and let's try and find out what's going on here in the Armenian camp. Kun Jang straight up. Everything going absolutely perfectly for him so far. And a spot in the final awaits him.
It's a pretty easy punch down from Zhang.
Well, this is where we'll see that Artur has to come out if he's going to make it to the final. That's going to open him up.
Well, Artur's shown us he can stay in there and take the technique. Now for Artur, he has to figure out a way to earn some points. He's solid enough that he's proven that he can sort of withstand some heavy blows from Zhang. But look at that roundhouse kick that we can hear up here and there. Artur tried to trade some punches there. And that's what he wants to be able to do.
And he's going to go for the push-off.
Pushing him off.
It doesn't look, with the kind of stature that he's got, he's a taller fighter, he's a bigger built fighter.
Well,
he
Kun
could
just
easily
decided
do it,
that he's going to
save some time.
conserve some energy, finish the fight, push him off.
So Kun Jang goes through. Now the interesting thing is here, and up next we're gonna see this fight. Ali Abdulkalikov had one of the biggest knockouts yesterday as well. So did Kun Jang, and he's got a chance now that he could face Kun Jang in the final if he can get past Ayman Mohammed from Egypt.
Well, this is a case in terms of Kun deciding that he can end the fight with the push-offs there.
You got the feeling that he could do that.
Conserves energy.
So it's Russia-Egypt again.
Because the fight that Zhang wanted in the competition is the fight that's coming up.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
if he can conserve some energy for himself for that fight, because remember, that's just in our next session.
That's right. This afternoon, all the gold medals will be won in all the categories, women's and men's. The women's finals have all been determined. They were determined yesterday.
So Jivan, here, look at the names that are coming up again. Russia again, Egypt again.
Yeah. We've had Iran, we've had Vietnam, and they all.
Iran, Vietnam, Egypt. We've seen India, Indonesia, China.
So here is Ayman Mohammed from Egypt up against a man that knocked out cold Rajan Diori. Right? No, sorry. Yes, it was. Elias El Reyes was the man that was knocked out cold by Ali Abdulkalikov yesterday.
I remember that fight.
Yep.
Elias, a strong fighter as well.
I wonder if he's got it here. Now the Egyptian fighter bigger.
Spinning back fist from Ali.
How confident is that?
Right, and strong. But caught on the gloves. Both men sizing each other up. Ayman trying to figure out, he knows, he respects the technique that's facing him.
Goes,
and
gets the leg
that's
caught.
where he had to hold out.
Wow.
So
I was just saying that how Ayman is bigger than him.
It's 2 points. So Ali there with, for 3 of the judges, 3 points up in the fight, and Ayman's not yet on the board. And that roundhouse kick to the face.
Now that's the kick that floored Elias.
So that 1 point should give, that 1 point red side down first should give Ayman.
Ayman being
Must
just
have been
wondering here.
overruled.
Well caught by Ahmad. He's now trying to push him off
And
again. Well done.
Able to.
He not only pushed him off, he pushed him off from halfway across the late time very quickly.
So Ayman showing us that sturdy fighter, that if he gets his opportunity, he'll take advantage of that one leg up. Not enough, but Ali showing us that he can take Ayman down as well. Ayman just a little bit taller there. Nice left.
Well,
And
goes for the throw.
Yes, Ayman going for the throw. You see Ali just looking for his opening. Doesn't look too worried about anything, and beautiful. Ayman put that leg up.
Yeah, that was a nice move in by Ayman, and it was just measured and countered nicely by Ali.
His heel was sitting on his shoulder, so as a kick goes, rather than being a roundhouse kick that clearly kicks the side of the face, it sort of went up and stopped.
Yeah, right.
So,
well, that was a left to the face, and now both of them off. But
both fighters off, but
as
Ali
we've seen from the
comfortably.
Russian fighters and the Chinese fighters, by that point, there's already an 8-point. Look, 10-2, 10-2, 11-2, 10-2, 9-2. So,
well, Jeeves, I want to point out that Ayman also had that wild card in his pocket because this is just a beautiful takedown. There was that foot sort of resting on the shoulder. So,
внутри можешь работать. Корпус ногой первым ударом не работает, только вторым ударом. Или с рук, или после обмана. Понял?
Или ногу показал снизу.
Да.
Правую ногу показал и снизу левую. Он ногу полезет, снизу левую ножку. И центр даже на выталкивание не делал. Лучше складаться, потом придумать.
والرجل اللي طالعه امسكها على الخروج.
so this is when you have a corner that can balance. You have a calm coach and a coach that's impassioned there, and you need a little bit of both depending on where you are.
To get through to your fighter, and you know, it did look like from. Well, I said it's so international, this competition with the 41 nations that have taken part, that we really have done our best over the last 3 or 4 days. But the Russian team looked like they were looking for a little bit more punch combos, perhaps to stop those kicks coming in. And it was just, well, it's the second round, go out and win it for Egypt.
Ali is safe. He has one bout under his belt, and more importantly, Ali held Ayman to 2 scorable points that we saw. So, and that was just the push-off.
Yeah.
So he doesn't feel pressed by the technique. It's a matter of him just trying to try some things here that he might want to warm up. Ayman, on the other hand, has to try and get back on the board. You see the desperation. Ali dancing around on one leg, and Ayman ends up losing that exchange.
Of points,
You're sure. So Ali on the board solely from his ability, or Ayman's inability to take him down once he had his leg.
Well, I wonder if Ayman is going to listen to his coaches, get a few more of those punch combos out as well, just to build up on that 2 points. That's where the round is currently held, just 2 points up to the Russian.
Well, we're 40 seconds into the fight, and there you see Ali just shifting into another gear where he needs to.
Unbelievable.
Because Ali now is using Ayman as some warm-up for another round too. Ayman is not giving him a lot of technique to have to respond to. So Ali is actually stepping in and making some of the fight happen.
Well, we've seen that happen with a lot of these.
There's a spinning technique, and Ayman is
absolutely off. So
the platform.
It's more an exercise in positional awareness for Ali Abdulkalikov.
We might find Ali decide to
go for the second push-off.
Well, he just practiced a little sway jaw, but we might find him if he has a position to.
Well, he's going to be up against Kun Zhang if he gets through. It looks like it. It's currently no points on the board for Ayman.
Right. There are no points, and we're into the last 30 seconds of the fight. This is a good 4 seconds that it's taken Ayman to try and get Ali off platform, and he wasn't successful.
So into the last 30 seconds. And Ali Abdul Khaliqov just, wow, pretty much with this time running down now. And
well, Ali will be able to look back at this fight and see how long it took him to get into an exchange.
yeah. 10 seconds left. Too much for the Egyptian. He wants to go out with a flourish.
Well, he hears those beats, so he knows that he's in the last 10 seconds.
Well, if he had connected with that combo at the end, that was a spinning roundhouse, a couple of punches at the end, could have been at least about 5, 6 points for him. Still wouldn't have been enough.
It's tough. He's fought through a tough competition. These world championships are not an easy road.
Not an easy
to get
road
to
at all.
the semifinals.
There was Johan Ben Bedra from France. He had to take on before him. Anyway, Ali Abdul Khaliqov up against Kun Zhang this afternoon. Going to be very interesting indeed in the 75 kilogram class. So now we move up. Solid 2-0 victory there. Now we saw Gao Feng yesterday.
Gao Feng up against Georges from Lebanon.
And he took out Gochmirat, Jumanisov from Turkmenistan, a straight 2-0 win in the quarterfinals. Strong Chinese fighter again against Georges Eid, yes, of Liberia, who took out Domenico Stabile of Italy. To get here, both of them now fighting for a spot in the final in the 80 kilogram class, which, yes, means Muslim Salikov or Baghdad Kemzetiev will fight one of these fighters.
Right off the bat, George is taking his technique, putting his technique out there for Gao Feng to see. Gao Feng not so pressed. There's a takedown that earned him 2 points and a punch that had earned him 1 point before, so he's on the board clearly, whereas for Georges, the judges haven't seen the technique that's scoreable. Gao Feng is another one of those fighters with incredible bobbing and weaving ability.
And by doing that, and kind of just picking off where he can, little scraps from this attacking foray from George Zid, who's trying to push him off.
Yeah, but look at the wall
that was set up. But by picking off those punches, he's already got a mini lead in. There's a kick.
Yeah, thigh kick that George has caught, but he wasn't able to convert it into a takedown. We are talking about 80 kilogram men. And
wow,
that spinning punch connected there. So there's a little admonition there from the platform referee because he was fighting after the break.
Gao Feng took a few hits there. Let's see how he can respond. And looks like Georges is getting a lot more property value here. He's getting a lot more space. Gao Feng for the first time backing off a little.
We'll see how he responds here.
While he is behind on points, I wonder if Georges Eid thinks he can go through and win this round.
Well, he's definitely been an initiator, and he scored with some points.
Yeah.
Gao Feng not really worried about the punches connecting, but for Georges, they have scored points to get him back in this round.
Well, this is the first time we've seen the Chinese fighter standing off, and then he comes back in again. And this might be the lowest point score we've seen from a Chinese fighter in a round, actually. And I think those 3 punches, which started with the spinning back fist, may have just rattled him a little, a tiny bit. And you can see now the Chinese corner not too impressed with, I suppose, how open he was. Well done, George Zid. Looks like we just heard from the sounds of the fans, and they're not happy either.
Well, while Lebanon won that round, China won that round, Lebanon's very inspired by what they saw with their fighter. So
Definitely.
they're trying to urge him on to do what he did to close that point gap. And as you pointed out, he did not create the kind of point cushion.
Yeah, the point cushion that we're used to, and that is definitely a little bit more concern from the Chinese camp.
So we might see him move into another gear here.
He might need to, yeah. If not just to impress his coach.
Well, his coach knows what he's capable of, just as Lebanon's corner knows what their fighter's capable of.
Wow, these are big, big kicks from 80-kilogram men.
Good punches there from George's.
Fists from George's.
Not necessarily scoring with all the judges. They both exchanged thigh kicks. Not everyone scored thigh kick as well. That's a huge left hand coming from Gao Feng. Only 1 point though, and there's another exchange. So you see his coach is happier with that and that bobbing and weaving that we were talking about. But
while the Lebanese team are getting off their seat, they're so happy with this performance against the Chinese fighter.
They know that he's ahead by judge number 1. There's a roundhouse kick that's caught.
That's a takedown, and
the takedown, it's 1 point. But in that 1 point, he also earned a point from some of the judges before. So there's a thigh kick that we could hear up here, followed up with another thigh kick.
Wow, this is a fantastic performance from the Lebanese fighter.
Absolutely. You hear the crowd urging him on because they see just how close these points are with 40 seconds. China being admonished to not clinch. But this clearly within the reach of Lebanon to take it to a third round. You hear China's corner urging him on to mix it up. Thigh kick earned him 1 point, fighting out of the clinch.
And that is how he manages to put this together. He is ahead by 3 judges.
Yeah, but look, he's tied. He's there. Roundhouse kick.
Round
2 points scored for Lebanon, but 2 points scored for China.
Yeah.
So
just move the competition up.
So here you hear that buzzer, that left hand just scored a point for him, and that thigh kick scored maybe a little bit too late, but really close.
Well, a big kick to the head,
but
just as the gong went, that's not going to be scored, and they still managed to pull the points out.
You see Lebanon, they are not at all displeased about the fight that their fighter put up there. China just showed
that's something you don't see very often. So Gao Fengfu has made it through. Just a quick flurry, and then I'm sure he's going to get a bit of a talking to from his coach. That wasn't the usual Chinese performance that we've seen.
Well, he was up against a very determined fighter, but this is the difference between fighting within your standard. You see the coach.
He's just walking off. The coach is walking off.
It's not the kind of display that he wants his fighter to show, so he showed him the score.
And now the superstar, Muslim Salikov and Baghdad Kensiatiev from Kazakhstan. They're going to be fighting out to face Gao Feng later on this afternoon. I wonder what kind of training regime they're going to put him through this afternoon. There is Muslim Salikov in the black, 4-time world champion, silver medalist at the 12th World Wushu Championships. So far, he's thrown 2 punches in his first bout, and his second bout wasn't really down to his punches, but he did enough to force a fall, and
so
his opponent had to retire.
Here again, this is the kind of fight that Baghdad, if you're going to be in a competition, you get to face the best not on your first day, but down to the semifinals. Muslim's been here so many times before. So
31 years old now, Muslim Salikov. As we said earlier in the week, he's done so much to promote and influence European wushu in there.
Spinning side kick, I think we might end up stopping this fight, because even if we go back into it, he's still a little bit, his hands will come up, but Muslim can capitalize on this.
And Muslim, again, this is unbelievable from him.
Look, he looked right in with punches.
They're throwing in the towel.
His corner is stopping. His corner is stopping the fight.
No, not quite yet, but
he's checking. Yeah, he's stopping the fight. So his coach has decided, after that strong hit and a couple of other punches in there, they see his fighters a bit shaken.
While Muslim Salikov has really just lived up to all of his billing and all of his lore. He has stepped into this ring 3 times this week and all of his fights. Do you think for someone like Muslim, he's now going to be thinking, well, I wish I had a fight before the final? He really hasn't had a proper contest yet as it comes out.
Well, Muslim knows the type of fighter that he'll end up in the finals with. He's been with those types of fighters. He trains for
those types of fighters, right?
He trains for those types of fights. The early rounds are, as you've seen, not as competitive for him, but he trains for when you make it to the later rounds. So he won't be worried that he hasn't had a fight to test him, because as you just pointed out, at 31, he has so many years of experience.
Yeah, he might just rely on that.
Right.
Oh man, he's going to be facing Gao Feng later on. That's going to be a massive fight.
We see the Iranian flags out here, but I just want to point out, for those of in our viewing audience, for Kazakhstan made a choice, a decision to save the health of their fighter after a very strong technique. We've seen some serious knockouts, and their fighter was shaken. He took an 8 count. He was able to come back, but he was shaken in that fight.
So now we have Amir Fazli against Britain's Nicholas Ivagru. Both in action last night. Both impressed last night.
And there we have Nicholas off platform, and Fazli will keep that. Fazli can keep that wild card because he potentially could have another fight. So, as we've seen, yes, he is trying to use his wild card, and he does. The round is over.
He wants to keep it quick.
Sure. At this stage of the competition, conserving only helps him for if he's 1 round away from the finals. So his coach might be telling him to mix it up a little bit. You can be sure that he won't tell him to expend himself too much if he doesn't need to. But if he just
bigger fighters, you're right.
Right, if he just closed out a fight within about 40 seconds, close out a round within about 40 seconds, there's no reason that he wouldn't be able to do that again if need be. Great Britain's team know that they're up against one of the Sanda powerhouses in the Iranian fighters. So let's see.
The Iranian fans in the Istora Sanayan overjoyed that their fighter is in another semi-final. That's a good thigh kick to open up the scoring.
And there's a beautiful roundhouse kick that you can hear throughout the stadium. So it's 3 points easily for Fazli.
Credit to Nicholas for getting his guard up.
Well,
but still, look at the points.
Fazli just took him down rather than off the podium. And now he's going to take him off the podium. We're into the first 30 seconds of the fight. He's about to take him down again.
It was good that he tried a couple of techniques, but yes, he just looks now that he's... Well, it looks like the fight's been called.
Well, it's been called because the judges saw
Points
0.
difference,
But not only that, not necessarily responsiveness from the fighter.
And superior strength. So, a very quick bout for Amir Fazli as he moves through. And as you said, for Great Britain to be at the semi-finals of the 13th World Wushu Championships, it's not too bad, not too shabby. Now, one of those fighters, well, I mean,
you see Iran giving mad props, really giving the encouragement to the fighter.
And that's what it is all about.
The sign of also a phenomenal coach over there from Iran.
I really do like that side of that, the fact that there's so much respect going around. And Dimitri Batok and, of course, Xavier Fupapokam, he was the man that massive knockout against Armindo Moriera yesterday, the one that ended the session. And here we're going to see possibly a bit more from Xavier because that was a very quick knockout indeed.
Allez, tu vas faire le boulot. Allez, allez, c'est à toi.
And that essentially translates as go, go.
Go, go. My small smattering of French knows that.
So, in the 85 kilogram, I wonder if we're going to see these flying spinning techniques from Xavier again. Xavier in the black, Dimitro in the red. Dimitro with the 2-0 win over Shinazar Jamadizov yesterday.
France, a country that's seen themselves in the semifinals before, so they know what it feels like to be here in the latter stages of Sanda competition. Dimitro gets the reverse and the first point down.
Yeah, a different fighter for Xavier to be fighting.
Sure, sure. Dimitro just reached in with the right hook. Xavier showing us that he knows how to sort of neutralize it. That's right, takedown. Neutralize that takedown that Dimitro was trying.
Kept low, wide stance, as you said. Very difficult to shift.
Dimitro doing a good job of trying to get in with his punches, despite the fact that Xavier has those long legs. We haven't been able to see him capitalize on those legs, and he's not on the board yet. Dimitro actually, both guys pretty good at neutralizing the takedown. Longer reach for Xavier to go over the top there, but is a long way down whether he shoots forward.
Wow, bit of a clash of heads there.
Sure. So here within a minute of the fight, first minute to give you perspective, 2 points. That's all the judges have seen.
Well, that's almost called by the judges. Almost.
Another takedown by Dimitro.
Wow, this is impressive stuff from the shorter fighter as well.
Xavier, someone saw some punches from Xavier. A couple of the judges saw punches from Xavier, not all of them. So it means that Xavier, in order to really make a difference here, Dimitro throwing some punches, in order to make a difference, he's going to have to show some clearer technique that the judges see as scoreable.
This the lowest scoring round that we've seen today, this morning, Session 8. Just 3-1 is the largest differential with 17 seconds left in the round.
Sure, I don't know that Xavier has scored yet with his kicks, and we know that his kicks have been effective for him, as well as his hands. But with Dimitro, he's been able to, there's a kick, there's a push kick, finally in the last few seconds of the round,
and that gets
but not enough. Not enough with 1 second counting down.
He was caught just in the last 2 seconds again. For a second, it looked like it was going to be, literally for a second, it looked like it was going to be tied up. But Dimitri Batok comes through.
Well, it's a low scoring round, so he potentially, with 1 or 2 more kicks, would have been able to make a difference there.
Now, our special finals day cam into the camps. Let's see what we can pick up.
Dès que tu travailles, tu le mets en difficulté. Mais il faut que tu travailles, d'accord? Il faut que tu travailles, Xavier. C'est à toi maintenant. Allez, tu travailles, Xavier. Allez, c'est pas toi, allez. Allez.
Il va chercher, t'as vu à chaque fois il retombe.
Voilà. Toi, tu réduis et après tu montes la manche. Allez, c'est par toi, Xavier. Et c'est à toi le deuxième. Allez, Xavier. Allez!
Well, that was essentially just keep working. Travail was the word that was repeatedly put into Xavier's ears.
Well, the keep working is what Xavier showed at the end of that to get some points, but Dimitrov has just gotten a push-off in the first 7 seconds of the round.
And that did look as if Xavier was trying to fight back.
Dimitrov's going to go for another push-off
yeah.
as he can, but Xavier realizes it. But look at Dimitrov has scored 4 points there. That's a pretty solid hit from Xavier, and he's just reversed the push-off and gotten that wild card back. So now both sides have a push-off. Makes it exciting for the fans here. One push-off from either side can win the round. You have to hope that Xavier's trying to find his way back into the fight.
Well, that put him off guard, and that's
that
was unlucky for Xavier because he was a bit wild, and we've seen some of these roundhouses go a bit wild. It's such a difficult technique in terms of keeping your balance, and that he was just in the wrong place at the late tie.
So Xavier, not realizing that he needs to get his headgear off, he knows how disappointing that was. You don't want to lose the fight at this stage, but he paid the price for being a little off balance with those wild sweeping techniques, and all Dimitrov had to do was push him off the lay tie. It wasn't that difficult of a move for him.
So he'll be taking on, Dimitrov Batov will now be taking on Amir Fazli in the 85 kilogram class. And so we move on, and this is, well, these were the big hitters yesterday. Ilya Varchinia versus Mihai Ignat. Mihai Ignat had a huge KO over Yang Pan from the US.
That's right.
That was massive. They'll be facing either Hamidreza Golipor, who you remembered as a platform judge, so he must have done something right, and Robin Larsson from Sweden, who had that jumping side kick at the end. So these are big, big guys. 90 kilograms, there you go, walking out. That would be, if I'm right, from Belarus. Yes, Ilya Varchinia in the red. And that's Mihai Ignat from Romania.
Well, Ignat showed us what he could do against an American fighter that was very, very new to this level of fighting at the international level. But still, Ignat showed us just what kind of power he has behind his technique.
Well, exactly, and you could say also that Yang Pan was probably a little bit defensively behind in that. He was throwing some wild punches, I remember. You can actually see that now, and he took a very big hit. And we hope, of course, as we did yesterday, that all the people that got knocked out yesterday on the Sanda Leta are now making fantastic recoveries. So Belarus in the red, Romania are going to be very proud that they've got their semi-finalist. And I wonder, so
thigh kick to earn some points there for.
Wow, big kick. Showing some weapons early on, 15 seconds in. Static, it's very static. There's a couple of fast hands from Ilya. Asked to pull together and start getting in, and that's, well, that leg caught, that could mean
both fighters
end up sitting rather comfortably on the corner. That was well done, and now evaded well.
Some nice round thigh kick, but a takedown there. So they really are taking the thigh kick, but then turning it into a takedown. 1 point exchange for each fighter.
And standing off each other, so not much points in this yet.
Not in this first minute of the fight.
Wow, a couple of hands there. Combination.
Sure. There was a right leg roundhouse kick followed up by punches that helped Ilya go up just a little bit, gaining that cushion there.
They're going in big. And
actually, I'm sorry. It's Ignat gaining that cushion, and Ilya trying to get him off the platform, but that won't be counted.
So the points, well, that's actually, that push off
was counted.
Yeah, that push off has helped Ilya. He's now ahead.
At least by a couple of judges.
Yeah, no, in fact, he's behind. Well, now he's ahead, now he's ahead. But that's how close these are. We're actually watching these scores rise up on the TV monitors ahead of us. And
it's a case that tried to take Ilya down and ended up losing a point there himself. Push kick scored some points by Ilya, and you can say that he's eked out, but actually did not just earn some points. I think the judges are going to remind them to listen to him.
Yep, that's right, with 1 second left.
1 second left, and this is pretty mixed scoring there.
That was a double push kick at the end, and high scoring, 10-8, 6-7, 4-7, 9-6, 5-2. So
3-2
wins
in
it 3-2.
favor of Ilya.
Rapide, da? Și nu stai la contre de braț cu el. Tu îi dai picioare. Ții brațele în gardă, picioare. Ții brațele în gardă, picioare. Nu e foarte bun pe picioare, e bun pe brațe.
Nu pui și vreau.
Deci tu trebuie să dai picioare ca să-i pune și vedeți cum mai mult la placă și
So I'm sure Ignat's corners wants to see some of the technique that was so dominating yesterday against a fighter that didn't have the technique that at least Ilya has put up. Ignat has had to have a more challenging fight so far.
And again, the in-corner cam, as we shall call it. You see both fighters and coaches quite happy with the way this is progressing and evolving.
Ignat trying to make something happen there, coming out of the gate with a push kick, but not scoring.
Wow.
It's a clash of thigh kicks there.
Eyes met in the middle. And it left Ilya a little bit.
Yeah, you see him moving, Ignat moving gingerly and getting a forcible count because that right leg is sore from that inside thigh kick.
Just as we saw earlier, when Hong Xing-kong showed us exactly how devastating inside thigh kicks can be.
Nice exchange of punches there from Ignat.
No surprises that Ilya is coming in with those kicks again, but right, he was...
Ilya's pretty comfortably in the lead there, leading in with the left hand. Nice right hand cross from Ilya. And here, 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the round, and Ilya has a nice lead.
Yeah, he's really raced into the lead, and it's a little less energy from Ignat now.
Well, I don't know how much that kick is factoring into Ignat not being able to mount, but
just doing as much as he can once the fighter was down to urge him on.
You see Ignat's hands not up quite as quickly.
Yeah, and he's moving a little slower now, and definitely not.
He's trying to conserve the energy for the technique, and there he's getting some punches out, but that. All of those punches are sort of haymaker to the side, not very focused jabs. Trying to go for these are big guys, trying to go for a big, heavy cross if he can. And there is Ilya really forcing the issue and both men off.
Well, with 45 seconds left and this reduced amount of energy and movement from Mihai Ignat in the black, you'd have to favor Ilya here to go through to the final.
Well, Ilya has mounted a 12-5 and a couple of the judges 1 and 2. and looks like he has more of the energy there on the platform. Ignat's trying to hang in there, but he hasn't really responded with the technique. There's a spinning back fist, but that technique is sort of a blind technique, so when you're down on energy, it moves just that much slower.
And we have seen them in various speeds, and right now with 15 seconds
very
left,
slow for Ignat. It shows you just how fatigued
that,
he is.
that takedown is going to take him into double digits from all 5 judges. Well, it should do. In fact, it's going to need one more.
Ignat trying to hang in there for so these last few seconds, and actually gets 1 point by taking down Ilya.
So it's comfortable in the end for the Belarusian.
Yeah, he's just going to wear the clock down, and with 1 second left to go, that's not a lot to do.
15-7, 17-6, 15-7, 15-6, 9-7 in the end. So just that final judge number 5 that saw it a lot more closer, but pretty much cleanly at least 7 points in. As we look at some of his movement, it was good, and that was good catch.
Sure.
Or capture. So he moves through to the final, and he will face either Robin Larsson or Hamidreza Golipur. Now, you said that Golipur had a lot of technique. We saw a jumping sidekick from the Swede Robin Larsson. This could be a pretty pounding fight. This is our penultimate bout for this morning session. We've got the massive Abdrimov Kwan from Kyrgyzstan, who we saw in the corner earlier. He'll be coming up afterwards. And right now, one of these fighters, Robin Larsson in the red and Hamidreza in the black. So Mihai Ignat, who had that KO to get him through the final, while Robin Larsson had his own KO as well over Stefano Paolo Vickery from South Africa yesterday. That was the final bout, in fact, of the night. Oh, I stand corrected, sorry, there was, in fact, Hamidreza was the final one. Both of them are here now. And there's going to be a lot of screaming here. We've got a lot of Swedish support and a lot of
Swedish support,
Iranian support.
And look at that technique. Beautiful roundhouse kick, but blocked.
Look at that.
You see Golipur really going for it there on the technique and sort of swarming and oppressive.
Well, he's already up to 9 points with one judge, just over 20 seconds.
So Larsson will look here to try and get his footing to get back in the fight. It's been a little bit tough. The first 30 seconds have been very oppressive. The clinch here helps him to sort of
just reset himself.
That's right.
Bit. Yeah, he's marginally shorter, but at 90 kilograms, both these guys.
It's a relative.
Yeah, it's pretty much. They've got big punches and big kicks, and that's a huge kick for Robin to take. And credit to him, he's still in there. He's had his block up a good few times.
Yeah, Robin has shown us he's good at protecting there because these techniques are coming. Unfortunately, Golipur went down on him, so red's down first.
Still, no judges have been able to score Robin yet. I'm sure he's going to be looking to get a couple of punches in at least.
There's a side kick, and he actually scored some points there.
With the back fist, right?
Well, actually, they didn't score the side kick, but they scored the punch.
They scored the punch, right. But, wow, Hamidreza is now in double digits with 4 of the 5 judges. He's 1 point off judge number 2.
It's a bit of an uphill climb for Larsson. Golipur being a slightly taller fighter, trying to figure out his strategy for getting inside.
Well,
he threw up a couple of kicks in the spinning. Tried to do a spinning hook kick, but lost his balance there, and Golipur gets 2 points.
So, as expected, some cheers from the Iranian supporters in the crowd. It's looking like one of their fighters, another one of their fighters, has got 1 foot in the final. There's too little time left now for Robin Larsson to come back into this round, though he is trying. One last look again, 19-1, 12-1, 14-3, 13-2, 13-0.
So this is a case where in Sweden's corner, trying to help him figure out how there was a nice hook kick that was up, but a beautiful hook kick that connected. However, by falling, he ended up trading those 2 points. There was a beautiful spinning hook kick.
Now let's listen in.
So here's where you see, without me understanding the language, but his coach was very succinct in what he needed to tell him. Not a lot of things, but where he needed to focus. And when he needed to get his fighter's attention to focus on those couple of things, you saw him get his attention and the fighter to really absorb what he wanted him to do. So let's see if we can tell that he executes. Golipor reaching in with those long legs and scoring with the thigh kick. There's Larsson able to block off one of those roundhouse kicks and get inside.
Well, a lot more activity from both
very
fighters.
Good.
Unfortunately for Robin Larsson, he's been pushed off once.
Golipar worked the lei tai to get him over there to punch, but we see here that Larsson was successful in neutralizing. Golipar put out at least 4 or 5 techniques there. Not all of them scored. Again, he just blocked. Well, a couple of judges saw it as making connection. Nice punches, still not enough. Golipar with a comfortable lead here.
And knowing that he might be in the final.
That's a kick to earn him 2 more points.
Be looking for Robin.
Right. He is every couple of seconds scoring some points here on Larsson that's put him, as we move into this second minute of the bout, in double digits with one judge. But he's now trying to push Larsson off, but Larsson is a formidable opponent there. He's not going to be pushed off easily, but has already gone off once. So here, Larsson trying to figure out how do you make something happen, and Golipar staying out of a reach.
25 seconds left in the round.
Larsson turned. Not a solid side kick, but
well, he got some points on the board for this round at least, but Amadresa Golipor is just overpowering him.
And Amadresa's corner is looking at the board, telling him where he is. And Larsson trying to push him off, and Golipor giving him a little bit.
And he will get it, and that is going to be with 2 seconds left. Brave effort from Robin Larsson. But ultimately, it is the Iranian Amadresa Golipor that is going through to the final. Against Mihai Ignat.
When you get to this point in the fight and you're up there fighting for everything you can in the semifinals, you have to give major credit to even our fighters that aren't successful there.
Straight 2-0, no deciding rounds in this opening session. Session 8 on the final day of the 13th World Wushu Championships, the Sanda Arena. It's been clear-cut stuff. We've had a towel throw-in during the Muslim Salikov. This is the final bout for the morning. John Robert Bennett from Australia against the ever-impressive and very, very large Abdremov Kwan from Kyrgyzstan.
We'll see. We'll see what Kwan shows us again in this second fight, because his first fight was just utterly impressive. And there's a spinning side kick.
And these guys, 90-plus kilograms. And yes, the scoreboard is still working, but...
So we have Australia being counted down, and I have a feeling that he won't
It was
recover.
a
So
very,
that,
very big hit, wasn't it?
yeah, this fight is over quickly again for Kwan. So that's the second time Kwan has
Yeah,
had a
definitely.
fight.
Let's have a look at the replay. We told you it was big. That's the
That
kick.
was the roundhouse
And
kick
he
to
was
the
leaning
face.
into it as well.
Yeah. Push kick, solid push kick, and a roundhouse kick to the head. So he took some punishing kicks.
Abdurrahimov Kwan from Kyrgyzstan moves through, and he will be fighting Motaz Abdel Salam, who has won by default as Carl Albrechtsen had to pull out. Sadly, that would have been our last fight, and as you can see, that's just confirmed right there. So Motaz Abdel Salam would have just seen that amazing kick from Abdurrahimov Kwan. All that stuff will be coming up. All those fights and bouts will be coming up in the afternoon session. That is going to be the final session on the Sanda Day5. We've seen some amazing action over the last 4 days.
Absolutely, and Kwan has just shown us don't count the big guys out for some powerful kicks. That kick was a roundhouse kick to the face, followed, preceded by a push kick. So Kwan is showing us that he's a full package in terms of the power, which we expect with the big guys, but also with the timing to make these kicks work.
So that was our second knockout. And that is a summary of all the winners that we saw. Great performance from Ji Hui Ju in the 48 and also from Yusuf Nainub. So they're going to be taking each other on. 52-kilogram finals, Richard Sharma and Arnel Mandel. We've got Yusuf Widianto and Van Bao To. These are all great fights. Hong Zing Kong and Ali Magomedov is going to be huge. Ali, of course, the defending gold medalist. Seongmo Park and Ji Fuzu is going to really raise the roof around here. Both of them being... Now, Mohamed Saifi and Ali Aiwal, they were both essentially given buys as their opponents had to withdraw. Kunjang and Ali Abdul Kalikov, that's going to be mad. Gao Fengfu against Muslim Salikov, possibly Muslim's biggest fight to date. Amir Fazli against Dimitro Batok will be the 85-kilogram, and as we just saw, Ilya Varchenia against Hamidreza Golipor will be the 90-kilogram final. That's all happening in session 9, as that's the final, the largest category, 90-plus kilograms, and it was just one big kick from Abdurrahimov Kwan that got him into the final. Those 10 categories for the men's will be joined by the 6 categories for the women's, and that's all going to be happening. All finals, of course, all fighting for the gold medal here